There's a reason why the whole concept of just thinking positive fails you. So imagine with me for a moment that you're standing in a storm. There's lightning flashing overhead. You are soaked to the bone. You are literally terrified in the moment, being in the middle of the storm. And someone comes up and just says, think sunny thoughts. Doesn't really change anything, does it? This is why toxic positivity is so harmful to our nervous system, to our sense of well-being, mentally, physically, emotionally, because the idea that we can just slap on a happy thought to whatever the truth is of what we're feeling is exactly how that would feel to someone in the moment. You are furthering the isolation, the feeling of being unrelatable and in it alone, rather than stepping into your authentic truth, honoring where you're at. This is the powerful shift in dynamic that we work with in somatic therapy, because the power of actually tuning in and listening to what your body is saying, because your body is a sacred messenger. This work helps you to tune in, to allow for that authenticity of how you're feeling to come to the surface, and to know when someone's just trying to give you some fluffy response to try to fix whatever discomfort you're feeling because it's making them uncomfortable. And that's really the key. When someone is utilizing this toxic positivity of just think positive, high vibe movement, it is coming from a place of superficiality. It is literally just that component of ignore anything bad and bypass any of the shadow work, any of your actual emotional feelings, and just stand in this positive vibration and it'll attract all of the good things, right? You hear that a lot out there, especially with the LOA movement. If you don't know what that is, it's the law of attraction. So it's all the manifesting junk that is out there. And what this teaches is toxic positivity. And it is completely just misaligned truth. And because it's not even the totality of the laws of the universe, and a lot of people don't even know that there's other laws of the universe, but they did a really good job at marketing to people's pain, right? And that's what it comes down to. So rather than tuning into that junk that makes you live from a place that's not even your actual inner truth, the power of coming back to what you are feeling in your body in the moment. And yes, there is work around navigating the inner feeling and the inner thoughts and the inner emotions to help you direct yourself to more positive feelings, or feelings that make you feel lighter and more joyful. But it's coming into the process of doing that. And so much of the junk out there completely bypasses that work. And it's just about slapping on a happy feeling and thinking that everything is going to revolve around you and fall into your lap. And that is just not truth. So if you come back into feeling the body, if you really tune into your breath, go on that inner journey of feeling and noticing what is actually going on in you. Where are you at emotionally? What are you feeling inside? What is wanting to be held and comforted, and really got to sit with it so that you can actually feel and process it. That is the work of somatics, and it takes you far deeper, far more aligned to what is true for you in a way that helps you heal and move through those emotions so that you can take that next step. But that next step comes from a place of being aligned, not a place where you're standing in the middle of a storm trying to think sunny thoughts, right? you're in the storm and you're allowing yourself to feel the storm. You're allowing yourself to feel the electricity rising through you with each lightning strike. You're allowing yourself to feel each raindrop as it hits your skin. You're allowing yourself to feel the dampness, the cold, the chill, the fear, the anger, the rage. You're allowing yourself to sink in and feel all of the emotions that are all valid and all worthy of being felt, because you are meant to feel them as a human being. You are not just meant to feel the range of a positive emotions. You are meant to feel the entire range. You are meant to feel both light and dark, because you are both. You have to hold both of these emotions. You can't know happiness without knowing sadness. You can't know love without knowing hate. We work in a dualistic way, and coming back to that understanding, we value even these emotions that are heavy, these emotions that are hard, these emotions that we don't necessarily want to feel, but we need to, because it's part of the healing process. And so holding space to really own the scale of emotional depth that is you is one of the most powerful things you can do. And it is far more powerful than just slapping on some positive feeling. So, this resonates, if you've been feeling like there's a disconnect with some of this stuff, you are definitely not alone. There's a whole wide community out there that knows that the law of attraction is really just fluffy garbage, because it has really utilized marketing and speaking to people's pain to gain momentum, and it's actually kind of sick and disturbing. So a lot of us that are actually deep in the spiritual community that know better know the toxicity that is causing. And we're seeing this. We're seeing people that spiral mentally because they think that any bad thing that happens, they've attracted, and they think that there's something wrong with them, right? That's what that teaches you. It's always you. There's something wrong with you. You're not vibing high enough, and that is so toxic. I just cannot. I have met people that literally spiraled into deep depression and even end of life thoughts because they felt like they could never be as positive as everyone else around them, so there must be something deeply wrong with them. And that breaks my heart. Like, that really breaks my heart. What a disservice that is happening in the spiritual communities, because this has been allowed to go mainstream and allowed to continue, and people have bought into this toxic way of being. There is no truth in slapping on a fake emotion. There just isn't. Yes, we have the power of doing some inner somatic work to help us initiate a shift in our emotions. Because here's the thing, we are not our emotions. Our emotions are constantly fleeting and changing. So when we can tune into those inner parts of ourselves that we can shift and change through working with our nervous system, we can start to generate a different feeling if we don't like the feeling that we are currently in. But we don't do that from a place of expecting an outside result, because now you're stepping into this need for validation by it being proved from something outside of you. And that is also very toxic. So we come back to this place of, what am I feeling? What am I noticing? If I'm feeling a little frustrated and overwhelmed, right? Can I sit with that? Why am I feeling this? Where is it coming from? Can I sit with that long enough to uncover and unravel what is underneath that frustration? What is underneath that overwhelm? What is there? What is it telling me? What is it teaching me? Because let me tell you, these deep, intense emotions, they are sacred messengers. They are there trying to tell you something. And more often than not, most of society teaches you to ignore it. Keep going, keep pressing forward, just Don't think about that. Let's go do something else. Let's be distracted. Let's doom scroll, right? Like, there's so many things that pull us away from actually connecting to the depth of who we are. And we as a society need to come back to allowing for a deeper sense of inner feeling, of really tuning in to what we are noticing in ourselves, in our emotions, in our feelings, in our sensations, in our thoughts, right? We need to pay attention to that more, because the more that we allow ourselves the distraction of not paying attention to our inner truth, the more easily it becomes to just allow the outside world to control everything that you are feeling with yourself. And that becomes a roller coaster ride. Have y'all experienced that? It really becomes a roller coaster ride. You are left to just whatever emotion is triggered by what is happening around you. And that's hard. It is hard to live from that place, because you never know. Your emotions are now dependent on whatever is happening outside of you, because you have disconnected from that deep sense of self. And somatics works to bring you back into that connection, back to that place where you know beyond a shadow of a doubt who you are, where the world is, and that place between when you meet. How to stay centered and grounded into the depths of your being, holding space for your own embodiment, to hold the range of human emotion, because that's what you are meant to do. It's what allows you to take that breath. It's what allows you to approach the world with more ease, with more grace, to see the world through a lens of beauty and experience, versus being so intense that everything is just serious and it's black or white and you're either this or you're this, right? It opens you to this expansive place where you just get to take that breath and you get to notice life. You get to be present with life as it is right now. You get to enjoy the beauty. You get to enjoy grace for yourself. You get to tune in to that energy that is you, and how you actually influence the space around you, but from a place of embodied truth, from the place of, oh, I am sitting with overwhelm, and that's okay. How can I breathe space into that feeling? What do I need to learn about this feeling so that I can take that next step that moves me in a different direction, that moves me out of overwhelm? And maybe that next step out of overwhelm is just spaciousness. It's just the breath. It's just taking a deeper breath. It's just releasing all of the to-dos. It's allowing myself to center. It's the knowing that I am good enough, that I am worthy enough, without all of the doing. And then you take that next step forward into the next emotion that comes up. And you hold space for yourself to experience that. Well, what is that next thing? What am I feeling now? Well, there's sadness, maybe a little grief, because underneath that overwhelm was that feeling of not good enough. And that feeling of not good enough is bringing back memories of childhood, or maybe issues in a past relationship or even a current relationship. And so you just hold space for yourself to experience that. And you breathe. And you allow yourself to take that next step All right, I recognize this. How can I love myself more? How can I show myself and allow myself to feel worthy? How can I build my self-worth, my confidence, my sense of security and safety of being worthy in this world right now in this moment? And you let that innate wisdom of the body to communicate with you. Allow for that to move up in you. Allow yourself to sink into the depths of the truth of you. That is far more powerful than just trying to slap on a positive affirmation. And I promise you, the changes that you see from actually sinking into the depth of your being, it'll change your life far more than some toxic positivity will. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new to me, hi, I'm Jena, and I'm a somatic practitioner. I have a beautiful place here in the Crystal Coast of North Carolina, and this is the kind of work that I do, that I specialize in. So if you'd like to work with me more, you can check the links down below. I have a free community space that is open to everyone to join. It's called the Inner Alchemy Circle, and in this place, I weave together the wisdom of energy medicine through shamanic Reiki, and of course the somatic embodiment of working with the truth of you and weaving this energy together, this wisdom together, this way of working with body, mind, and spirit. It really allows you to come into the aligned truth of who you are. So I'd love for you to join me in that free Inner Alchemy Circle. And of course, if you are anywhere in the world, you can sign up to experience some somatic coaching with me. I really, really deeply love this work because it is so transformative and so empowering. So if you find that you are struggling with this feeling of embodiment, with really sinking into the depths of you, and you need a little more guidance, reach out, check the websites below, reach out to me through one of those links, and I'd be happy to help you. Thank you, and may you feel the depths of your soul and be grounded in your place on this earth. Namaste.